Hello, I'm Robin Duda. Today I want to talk about something very profound for me personally, and I believe is affecting most of the culture. How shame and ostracization and fear of punishment, or punishment itself, is controlling the culture and controlling the capacity to look at the truth, to say the truth, and to even know what the truth is for yourself. And the reason I want to speak about this is post-election, the presidential election, I saw so many people in shock about the truth of Hillary or the truth of Trump trying to come into the media. Well, that is just a reflection of the struggle we have in our own bodies, in our own culture, to really know what the truth is for ourselves. So I want to talk about how shame is not necessarily an emotion. In all of my healing work, shame usually is a component that keeps people from knowing what they really feel, from knowing what actually happened in their family, to knowing how they needed to be treated and they weren't. All of that material that's in our hearts and in our bodies from our upbringing is suppressed when shame starts to link into the system. So I want to share a little bit about how that happens. I've discovered with my clients and myself that shame is a matrix that comes through the mind, but it impacts the emotional body. I have a client that gave me permission to share about her story from a famous Hollywood family. And she was part of some of the most horrific ideas that we've heard about of satanic ritual abuse. She came to me with numbness, an unsatisfied sex life, an inability to really open up her being to her own joy. So where did this start? Well, as we started going into her body and expressing some of the events that started happening that she could recall, the feelings in her body, we saw that the shame matrix was imprinted the moment of the trauma. And where her personality and her soul was unwilling to feel her fear, she couldn't unlock the shame. Once the shame came up and out, it was then available what she really experienced with the trauma person, the punishing, ritual abusing person. The experience of that moment came fully present. So shame and the terror of not belonging in her family and the terror of terrible punishment has kept that shame in place. The courage she had to release that shame gave her then the opportunity to heal that past trauma and complete it from the past, and then she could get in present time. The emotional body has to move, folks, if you're going to get liberated. And shame and terror of being punished is why we can't tell the truth in our lives. It's why we don't tell our bosses how we feel. Who are the elite that you are giving your power away to? We obviously are seeing it in our world. It's ancient, it's tribal. If you don't comply, you cannot be a part of our world. I am asking, where do you punish yourself? Where do you allow others to punish you? Where do you allow the terror of not having love keep you from knowing what is true for you? This is the time where we have to know what the truth is. To make proper decisions, we have to know the facts and the information and not just stay attached to our belief systems or our stories about what we want to be true. We have to start moving forward as a culture based on the information, facts, as well as how our own knowing is showing us in our bodies what really happened in our lives, what we need, feel, and want in this next society that we're trying to build. I'm passionate about this because freedom and liberation is the cry that I hear. Freedom and liberation from the oppressor. Shame, terror of being punished has to be met with a new understanding that those that do come forward, that are whistleblowers, those that come forward from the systems of oppression, they have to be met with some forgiveness and acceptance. We can't continue to threaten everyone with punishment or there will be no healing. And yet there are those souls that may not choose to heal. That is true. And how do we manage that? There are those beings that want to stay in the criminal energy. And that is curious. How do we manage that? But there are so many more souls that have been a part of the shadow, that have done harm, that I have done harm in my evolution that need now to heal that co-creation and self-forgive and come out of the shadows, and let's bring all of this to the light and forgive and love and liberate everyone that's willing to be honest and to self-forgive and to live in trust and kindness. This is my response to anybody that hasn't known how to forgive. Decide that you're not willing to let shame control you anymore. Take that step. Let it go. Pray for it. Get some help. Get intention around it so you know what your truth is. And then we can ask and hold others accountable to be in theirs. So what do you need to love today? I'm so grateful that you've been watching. Thank you.